Ha, you came back? Good, good. I was worried you'd stay away after what happened last time. But curiosity always wins, doesn't it? Do you remember? The girl, Srishti. She laughed when everyone else was crying. Laughed so loud that the spirit herself stopped to listen. And then her number changed. So, shall we continue? Let me tell you what happened after the laughter faded. Chalkboards wrote new numbers without hands. Everyone's number slowly shifted. Some moved further away, while others dangerously close to zero. Shoes went missing, only to be found later, neatly lined up outside the east wing. The rules for the top 10 were different. For most students, numbers stayed the same until Spirit chose to change them. But in the top 10, they shifted naturally. 9 would eventually replace 8. 8 would replace 7, and so on. The only exception was Arjun. His control kept the cycle frozen because he refused to do anything that might push him past 001. Srishti's agitation was growing, but Arjun's company usually stopped her from taking any rash decisions. She dreamed of a girl in a torn uniform standing at the foot of her bed, pointing silently at her throat. Teachers warned Srishti to be on her best behavior if she wanted to stay alive. And maybe, if she was lucky, she would be granted permission to transfer next semester. Srishti scoffed as she muttered to Arjun, "Why is the spirit such a freak for rules?" "I don't know." "Okay, and what did you do to be 001? "I was notorious. I went into the East Wing, despite strictly being told not to." "Well, you seem quiet, so I really don't know what side are you talking about. But what happens when your number reaches 0? "She takes them away." "Seriously? Who said that now?" "I've seen it happen." Arjun wasn't as notorious as he claimed. He slipped just once, broke one rule, but those who had numbers above him made bigger mistakes, broke bigger rules, until none of them remained. And that's how he reached 001. His biggest punishment was solitary. Anyone who would get close to him would be punished. Since then, Arjun did not break a single rule. He didn't have the heart to see another person get taken away. And sadly, this spirit of rules believed only in punishments, never in rewards. His answer left Srishti in a shock. Her chest tightened. Her eyes burned as she fought back tears. He was the only one she talked to, the only one person she could truly relate to. She couldn't let his number change. That night, Srishti's nightmare got worse. She kept seeing a corridor never seen before. Every time she tried to sleep, her impulsivity got the best of her. That night, when everyone was asleep, Srishti slipped out of her dorm. Her slippers barely made a sound on the cold stone floor. But her heart thudded so loudly that she was unsure it would wake the entire building. The air outside was sharp, carrying the faint smell of moss and rain. The east wing waited. The staircase leading there was broken in places, vines creeping through cracks in the walls, cobwebs hung like curtains, swaying as she brushed past. Dead plants drooped in blackened terracotta pots. The window grills were red with rust, eaten away by years of silence. She found the corridor from her vision. The classroom at the end of it was the coldest in the wing. The wooden benches that lined the corridor were splintered and brittle. On every single bench was carved the same number, 000. The blackboard at the far end of the room was cracked through the center. Its surface was scarred with strange markings, words scratched in haste, like children had taken bits of charcoal and scribbled furiously until their fingers bled. Srishti whispered into the stale air, "Hello? Are you here?" Her fear began to burn into frustration. This is stupid. Just a story to keep us scared. You are nothing, okay? Just a shadow. You hear me? She raised her voice. That's when she heard it. Footsteps. Light. Fast. Darting from one corner of the room to another. The sound echoed, circling her. Her throat dried up. She spun, her eyes wide, her breath ragged. Shadows flickered along the walls as if something invisible was rushing past her. Then her gaze locked onto the blackboard. A shape was forming there. A girl, her body thin and hunched, wrapped in a torn school uniform. Her head was covered in a black veil, a nun's veil, soaked and clinging to her face. Tears steamed down her pale cheeks. She was crying, softly at first, then louder, as if every sob cracked the walls themselves. And then the classroom began to blur. The blackboard faded. The benches softened into a haze. Suddenly, Srishti was no longer in the east wing. She was standing in another time, a brighter time. A group of students surrounded a girl, young, alive, full of energy. Her uniform was neat, her voice firm.
Don't cheat for the test. Tuck your shirt in properly. Rules should always be respected.
The others rolled their eyes at her. Their annoyance turned into anger. And then whisper. A plan. Srishti's stomach twisted as she watched them slip an empty bottle of alcohol under the girl's bed. She wanted to scream, to warn her, but the memory swallowed her whole. The warden stormed in. Her face was like stone, her veil screaming no mercy. Her eyes angry in red. She saw the bottle. She didn't ask questions. She didn't listen. The girl, Gayatri, begged, shaking her head, tears in her eyes.
I didn't do this. Please, you have to believe me. Please.
But the warden's voice cut like a whip.
Rules are rules. You will be punished.
A wooden box was dragged in, small, cramped, dark. Written above it in chalk were the digits 100. Gayatri was shoved inside. The lid slammed shut and the lock fastened. Her muffled cries echoed until faded into silence. She was kept in it till the number reduced to 000. Suffocation. That was how she died. Srishti's vision broke apart like glass. She gasped, stumbling back into the East Wing classroom. The spirit stood before her now, taller, darker, her veil dripping shadows into the cracked floor. Morning came with no memory of how she returned. Srishti woke up in her bed, trembling. Her eyes darted to her uniform. The number stitched there had changed. 002. Her chest tightened. She found Arjun immediately. Words tumbling from her mouth, she told him everything. The East Wing, the memory, Gayatri. Arjun's face turned pale with anger. His voice broke as he turned away. Goodbye, Srishti. Arjun, wait! But he didn't answer. His steps were steady, deliberate, carrying him straight toward the East Wing. The sky outside churned, clouds twisting into a violent storm. Rains turned into hail, rattling against the glass. By the time Srishti got up, it was too late. Arjun had already stepped inside. She watched in horror as the number on his shirt shifted. 000. It was carved on his skin now. Srishti's scream tore through the storm. She fell to her knees, begging into the shadows. The spirit emerged. Gayatri. Her veil slipped, and for the first time, Srishti saw her face. Skin grey and cracked, nails jagged and yellow, hair falling in clumps. Her eyes were hollow pits, blacker than night. Her legs bent at wrong angles, and every step made the bones creak. She tilted her head. And then she pounced. Arjun's scream was short-lived. His arms were wrenched from their sockets. Limbs snapped one by one like dry sticks. His hair was plucked out strand by strand. And finally, her bony fingers dug into his face. Srishti could only watch. Her mind split at the sight. She felt her own body freeze, her spirit sinking into the dark corner. When it was over, the east wing was silent again. Silent, except for the faint sound of sobbing. Arjun was gone. His blood stained the floor. And Srishti? She never spoke again. Locked away, trapped in a permanent nightmare. Now you understand. Not every spirit wants peace. Not every ghost wants pity. Some are simply wicked. They weave sorrow into laughter, laughter into fear, until no one knows which side they are on. Scarlet High was never a school. It was their stage. And those numbers, just seats, waiting to be filled. Sleep well tonight, and pray you never get a number stitched onto your clothes.